Welcome to the Gold Standard Radio Show. I'm Craig Goldenfarb, your host and the founder of GOLDLAW. We've been a personal injury law firm in West Palm Beach for 25 years. This is the show where we spotlight the individuals and organizations making a real impact in our communities. Those who embody excellence, integrity, compassion, and the gold standard in everything they do. Every week we'll sit down with game changers, difference makers, and unsung heroes who are shaping the future of Palm Beach County and beyond. Whether it's through advocacy, innovation, or service, these are the people setting the bar high and showing us what it truly means to lead with purpose. So sit back, get inspired, and let's dive into the stories that define the gold standard. Good morning and welcome to the Gold Standard Radio Show. Craig Goldenfarb here of GOLDLAW Personal Injury Attorneys. I have a wonderful guest that I've gotten to know very, very deeply lately. His name is James, I call him Jimmy Gavrilos, and Jimmy is the president and CEO of the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County. It's great to have you here, Jimmy.
It's great to be here, Craig. Great to be on the gold. You are the gold standard, sir.
Well, thank you so much. So I had lunch with you recently, and you were telling me about your organization that you've run for quite a while called the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County. So why don't you tell our listeners and me about the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County?
So the quick version is we are the foundation for the Palm Beach County public school system. Our stated mission in life is to bring people like you, Craig, to bring the business community and connect it to the world of education. Sadly, right now, Florida ranks 47th in the nation in per student spending. And in order to fill those gaps, we reach out to the local business and philanthropic community who support teacher programs, creative, innovative curriculum, and of course, the distribution of school supplies.
And how do you do that? You were telling me you have several different modules or sections of your organization when we were having lunch recently.
Correct. So we've got a grant side of the house. We award almost $2 million in grants every year to our Palm Beach County public school teachers. Small, medium, and large. Some grants as small as $1,000. We have one program called Go Teach. Our Go Teach grants are between $1,000 and $3,000. This year, Craig, we awarded 86 Go Teach grants totaling almost $190,000. Then we have some mid-range grants, that $30,000 to $50,000 range, and we will even do some huge career academies. We're sponsoring the Cybersecurity Academy at Santa Lucia's High School through the Frederick DeLuca Foundation, and through our friends at Carrier, we're sponsoring the HVAC Academy at Royal Palm High School. So you've got the grant side of the house, and then there's our signature program, Red Apple Supply, where we distribute school supplies. I'm going to promote you, Craig. When Craig Goldenfarb High School becomes one of our Red Apple Supply shoppers, your teachers get to come twice a year. And they shop. Well, of course, that means we give them whatever they need. Last year, we distributed about $1.5 million in school supplies to our Palm Beach County public school teachers. And you were telling me earlier a statistic that the average teacher spends a certain amount of money buying supplies for their own students that they pay out of their own pocket. What is that? That's correct. And the number in this last academic year was $616. And that's the average teacher in America. Now, just do the math. Palm Beach County has about 14,000 classroom teachers. So they're spending their own money and what are they buying? Pencils, pens, glue sticks, scotch tape, folders, 3x5 index cards. Craig, one of our board members, Meredith Trim, is the one who started our Red Apple Supply program. And when we started it, we surveyed 200 teachers and we said, what do you need? There were 14 items that occurred on every list. Now, you're an educated man. You could come up with this list in 30 seconds. Pencil, pen, glue sticks, scotch tape, folders. We guarantee you when you come and shop, those things will be in stock. Sometimes when you share this with people, you get this, what do you mean kids don't have pencils and pens? The story that has been saddening us, but really we've been sharing for the last year or so, a teacher at Diamond View Elementary had called us up. Her star pupil had missed 2 assignments in a row. When she called the kid in, how come you haven't done your homework? The response was, and I quote, well, it wasn't my night for the pencil. Now you just got to let that sit for a minute, and your listeners. This child has 4 brothers and sisters, so there's 5 kids in the family. They each get the pencil one night a week to do their school lessons. 1 out of 5 kids in Palm Beach County live below the poverty level. In a school district our size, you're talking about roughly 40,000 children who don't have the basic school supplies to learn. And that's where Red Apple Supply comes in. That's amazing. And how many teachers do you end up serving a year, if you know, with Red Apple Supplies? Oh, yeah. We track this down to the one. This year alone, we had over 3,000 teacher shops. We're currently serving 96 of our school district schools, there's 182 schools in the Palm Beach County School District. 96 of them are currently Red Apple Supply shoppers. What we did is we started with our highest need school. You measure that by the number of children who are on the free or reduced lunch program. That's the designation of living below the poverty level. We started serving schools who are at 95% or above, where we've worked our way down now to where we're serving about 78% on free or reduced lunch. A Title I designation means you have 70% of your kids receiving free or reduced. And Craig, about 120, 130 of our school district schools are Title I schools. Most people just don't associate Palm Beach County with that kind of poverty.
Now, just to be clear, this is the public school system that we're talking
Exactly
about, right?
correct. These are all our public schools. Superintendent Mike Burke has done a masterful job. We're an A-rated school district. We have the highest graduation rate of the 7 large urban school districts in the state of Florida. But there are challenges. Funding is obviously one of them, and certainly, reaching out to these underserved, underrepresented populations and creating a system of equity where every child has a chance for a first-class, world-class education.
When did this foundation start?
Foundation, believe it or not, has been around for about 41 years. We were a project, if you will, of the Economic Council, and I call them the giants of business and education in Palm Beach County. It was George Elmore, Alexander Dreyfus, William T. Dwyer. When these gentlemen were with the Economic Council, they said, you know something, we need a foundation here for the public school system. So the Economic Council gave birth to us, and we continue that close relationship with the business community 41 years later.
That's amazing. Do the other districts in Florida have such a foundation, or just Palm Beach County?
No, there's of the 67 counties in Florida, 64 of them do have an ed foundation. Admittedly, Craig, I'd say about half of them, I'm the superintendent, I'm going to make you the chief academic officer. I say to you, Craig, do me a favor, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, go sit at that desk for an hour, you're the foundation. There's about a dozen that are very large like us here in Palm Beach County.
Wow, if I may ask, what's the budget of your organization?
We annually raise about $1.8 million in unrestricted funding just to fund our operations, and then we do about another $2 million in grants. So all in, we provide roughly $4 million in value to the school district every year.
That is wonderful. I assume you're a 501c3 charity.
We're an absolute IRS 501c3, fully tax deductible if you're listening at home. So yes.
That's amazing. So you have the grants side of the house, you call it, and
Yep.
then the Red Apple Supplies side of the house. And you were telling me, are those the two subsets of what you do?
Correct. And then we've also been involved in bringing digital equity and digital access to the county. When the pandemic hit, and we discovered that horrible term, remote learning, I still remember the day because it was Friday the 13th, when then Dr. Fenoy, our superintendent, then said, when we come out of spring break, we're going to keep the schools closed. We discovered 25,000 families who did not have access to the internet. Now, our friends over at Quantum Foundation had done a study. Without access to the internet over the lifespan, you will earn less money, you will graduate at lower rates, and believe it or not, have a lower life expectancy. So we were asked by the county to sort of quarterback this effort. The county put up the infrastructure, the poles, the route radios, the distribution network. The school district provided Chromebooks for everyone. We raised about $1.5 million and provided Wi-Fi extenders. We also had to get these configured by community volunteers and then distributed to families who now have access to the internet. So I'd say a third operation that we do, we provide digital coaching. We bring families in these areas to our center. We teach them how to use the internet. We teach them how to get on the school district website to get their kids' homework, grades, etc.
That's amazing. So, if I could sum this up for myself and my listeners. So this organization started 41 years ago. You've got basically $4 million that you provide every year almost to assist public schools in all these great initiatives. And you are the CEO of the organization. I mean, that's just heartwarming. And to hear that, are we the largest in Palm Beach County in Florida?
I don't know if we're the largest foundation, but we're probably the most active. We definitely do the most activity and provide the most value. The Palm Beach County School District is the nation's 10th largest school district.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And you do this, I think you told me at lunch, you do this with the staff of only 10 people.
We do this with 10 people. We half of whom are former teachers. So
that is fantastic. And for those who are listening who live in Palm Beach County, you have a location facility. I think it's in Lake Worth Beach.
Correct. We just built a brand new facility. The school district gave us the land, and we raised the funds, and we built a 32,000 square foot facility, which gives us the warehouse space so we can expand our Red Apple Supply program to eventually serve all 182 schools. Craig, it's my stated goal in life. No public school teacher should have to dip into their pocket to buy school supplies for their students. And so in 5 years, we will be serving all 182 schools.
That's awesome. Well, you've gotten quite a way there. What a great mission. What fantastic. So you were telling me, I was thinking of stories, and you told me the story of the child who had to share the pencil. And you also told me a great story about a robotics class in Pahokee High School, I think it was. So tell us about that.
Oh, the Subarus. That's the robotics club at Pahokee. They're our special friends. Dwayne Denard is one of the best principals the Palm Beach County School District has. He's been the principal at Pahokee High for years. He approached us 8 years ago and he said, we want to start a robotics program. Can you help us get funding? And Craig, the sad fact is there were people who said to us 9 years ago, these are kids from Pahokee, they can't handle robotics. We believed in those kids. We funded them. There were 8 kids who started the program. 8 years later, there's 195 kids in the program. 8 years ago, the graduation rate at Pahokee High School was 62%. In May, just 2 months ago, 100% of the children at Pahokee High graduated with a high school diploma. Those 8 kids who started the program are all in college today on full scholarships.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Pahokee has actually become a STEM destination. There are parents who are fighting to get their kids into Pahokee High just to be part of the robotics and the STEM program. And to those people, and I have no beef with the private schools. Private schools do a great job. But for those who say the public schools can't compete, last year at the state robotics competition, the young people from Pahokee went head to head against Pinecrest and St. Andrews and beat them both.
Wow.
They beat them both.
That's tremendous.
So those kids who can't handle robotics are doing pretty darn good for themselves.
That's an amazing story. So it's funny, I started investing myself in the Pahokee and Glades area, and I sponsor the Muck Bowl, which is the football side of the house out there. You're on the robotic side of the house. I'm on the football side. So I'd like to ask you to join me in September. I'm going out there for Spirit Week during their pep rally to Pahokee High, and we're giving away 2,000 shirts.
Sign me up.
So it's Pahokee. They're dark blue. Glades is maroon.
Yep.
So we couldn't do that without also going to Glades. So the following week, we're going to the Glades pep rally and giving them 2,000 shirts to warm them up for their great annual Muck Bowl.
I want to say something on that. A lot of times when I do these types of interviews and talks, somewhere in here, I'm sure there's a question that's going to say, what's the best part of your job? Or, what gets me out of bed in the morning? And I say this sincerely, not because you're sitting next to me. It's getting to know people like you. Everybody can make this community just a little bit better. Mother Teresa has said for years, God does not expect us to do great things, but we can do small things with great amounts of love. You're a lawyer. You have the premier injury law firm in Palm Beach County. Everybody knows Craig Goldenfarb. Everybody knows GOLDLAW. If you don't, you should. And yet, in your heart is this need to make the community better. In your heart is this sense of Palm Beach County, we're better than this. I get to meet people like you every day. I get to work with the Bank of Americas, with Florida Power and Light, the NextEras, the Comcast, these volunteers who are coming in and just packing backpacks for kids. We're in the middle right now of preparing for our backpack distribution. We will distribute in the next month 30,000 fully stuffed backpacks. The companies who are coming in to pack these things, it's a who's who of Palm Beach County. It's Gunster, it's FP&L, it's NextEra, it's Carrier, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, how do you not get out of bed in the morning with a smile on your face when I get to work with people like you?
Well, the feeling is definitely mutual. Thanks, Jimmy. It's affirming when you get to be around people who really care about others. And I read a recent quote from someone, a billionaire who shall remain nameless, who actually posted on social media, the downfall of society is empathy. The downfall of society is empathy. And that's where it seems like America might be paying attention to. And to fight that when a leading billionaire puts that on social media is an uphill battle.
It's sad because I think it tears the fabric of what once made America great, which is the sense of we're all in this together and we're going to get through this together and we need to care and we need to love each other. I'm going to find a poem here that I've kept, and it's written by a young person in Palm Beach County. Now we're going to keep his name anonymous for obvious reasons. And when you see this poem, it kind of says to you why we do the things we do, why we're so passionate about programs like Red Apple Supply. The poem's called "'Cause I Ain't Got a Pencil." I woke myself up because we ain't got an alarm clock. Dug in the dirty clothes basket 'cause ain't nobody washed my uniform. Brushed my hair and teeth in the dark 'cause the lights ain't on. I got my baby sister ready 'cause Mama wasn't home, she was working. Then I got us both to school on time, so at least we got a good breakfast. When I got to class, the teacher fussed at me 'cause I ain't got a pencil.
Wow.
Now, How do you not have empathy for that? How do you not, this young person, well, they need to get educated. Yeah. Well, if you don't give the kids the tools, how are they supposed to get educated?
Wow.
And so when I get to meet people like you who are dedicating yourself, you just passed out 3,000 backpacks on Saturday. I was there. You're going to go out to the Glades in Pahokee and take care of young people. We need more empathy, not less.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You mentioned Mother Teresa, so I was fascinated to learn when we met about your religious background. So share with us a little bit about that.
So I've been in the nonprofit world forever. I spent for my first 20 years as a Greek Orthodox priest. Decided it was time to try something, transition to something else. I've always been sort of a person on the street, so I ran Boca Helping Hands for almost 10 years. Still love Boca Helping Hands, a great organization, but my aha moment came, I would say, 8 years. I'm 8 years at the foundation now. So I was at Boca Helping Hands, and we had to pass out these government forms. And so there's a whole line of people that had to fill out their form to get their pantry bag of groceries, and I got a bank of volunteers to check them in. And the first 5 people leaned over and whispered in my ear, "I can't read." I said, "What?" They said, "I can't read." So I was driving home on Palmetto Park, and Craig, I'm kind of an emotional basket case, and I was crying. And I looked up and I said, how is this possible in 2016 America that people can't read? I mean, you hear about literacy, but you never really think about it. It occurred to me that moment on Palmetto Park, you cannot feed people out of poverty. You can only educate people out of poverty. If we want our children to grow up with the best possibility, especially in a global technological economy, education is the key. And shortly thereafter, believe it or not, I got a phone call from the Ed Foundation saying, hey, can we have a chat? And 8 years later, here I am still working for the school district. And let me clarify that. The foundation is, as you pointed out, a separate 501c3. I don't answer to the school board. I have 38 board members. I have 38 bosses, Craig. So we are a part, the way I describe the Ed Foundation, we're a part from the school district, but we're a part of the school district. We're clearly our own organizational entity. However, our full mission is to support the work of Superintendent Burke and the school district.
So you started in divinity and then went quickly to the charitable sector and then to where you are now.
Correct.
So that's your life path. That's a beautiful life path.
It's a good path. No day is a bad day when you're trying to help people, especially when you're trying to elevate people out of poverty.
So couldn't agree more. So you also have a history as a certified fundraising executive. I guess if you're trying to raise close to $4 million a year, you've got to have some skills in that area. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's funny. The CFRE, there's about 5,000 of us worldwide, so it's a very proud group. But being a good fundraiser it starts with, I would hope, being a good person. Fundraising is about relationships and it's about communication. There's all these great catchy techniques, but the truth of the matter is the mission of what we're doing is so important. We talked about, you brought up the building we just built. The school district gave us 3.7 acres of land in Lake Worth Beach, but they basically said to us, you guys need to go out and raise the money to build it and support it. We got that building built, by the way, 6 weeks ahead of schedule and $1.2 million under budget. But in a matter of about a year and a half, we raised $12.5 million. We didn't do it with some catchy technique or some campy program. We shared the mission. When you talk about educating children, when you talk about education in general, Palm Beach County responds. Palm Beach County is incredibly generous. The people just stepped up. Florida Power and Light, and remember, Lake Worth Beach has their own utility. Florida Power and Light is not even, Florida Power and Light donated $1 million to this campaign to say, we believe in education, we want to support the work you're doing. We love Red Apple Supply, we love the grants. It's that kind of response. And so when you're a CFRE, yes, you'll learn about relationships and et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, if you have a compelling mission, people are going to respond. And Palm Beach County responds. This is a very generous, very philanthropic community.
I think you're right. As you know, I have a charity that I started that gives away defibrillators to youth sports clubs, and it involves children, it involves health. And I've been told in the charitable area that certainly anything that involves health education or children certainly lands on people. If you have a heart at all, it's hard not to give money if it involves health, children, or education. So you got two of them. I'm
gonna share a story there. So when we started the digital inclusion plan, as I said, we were raising money. I get a phone call on my phone and it comes up Bentonville, Arkansas. Now, let's face it, there's only one person you want to talk to, and I'm sure there's lots, but and it was in fact the Walton family. And they said, we've heard about what you're doing in Palm Beach County. You are the only county in America that's going to bring universal Wi-Fi access. Can we make a donation? And they actually made a $100,000 donation to the digital inclusion plan. My point to this is, the Walton family said to me, what have you guys figured out in Palm Beach County that no one else has? What's the secret sauce? And my response to them was, I don't think we're any smarter than the rest of the world is. The difference is when it comes to children and education, we put our egos aside. We don't care who gets the credit. We just want to make sure our children in Palm Beach County have the best education possible so they can have the best futures. Think about those children in Pahokee who are now fully scholarshiped in colleges. You think about the people who have come through all of our career academies, these kids who have been through our Go Teach grant programs, who are learning basic life skills, educational skills. Their SAT scores are improving. When Palm Beach County sees that work, they respond.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I've had the same experience in Palm Beach County. If you have a good mission, there are lots of wonderful people here who are willing to step up. And it's mission driven. You don't have to be, I'm not a certified fundraiser at all. But as soon as I talk about some of my missions, it becomes somewhat easy in Palm Beach County. So I think we're blessed to be here. So you're talking earlier about technology, and one of the third legs of your stool, so to speak, at the foundation was the digital access. So one of the questions I had for you was, how do you address the gap in access to technology?
Yeah. Well, and when that pandemic hit, and go back to 2020, the Economic Council stepped up. Comcast was right there, with Internet Essentials. We were even talking about putting mobile sites on school buses. Where we landed was this digital inclusion plan to make sure that families can get these Wi-Fi extenders that allows them to pull down the internet signal, and then we provide the digital coaching. Craig, we're dealing with families who have never turned on a computer. And so in some cases, we have to set up an email account for them. We teach them how to use the school district website. It really isn't, it's at the risk of being a cliche, it's an education process. But what we're doing is bringing these families into the 21st century.
That is fantastic. So I want to talk a little bit about funding. We've touched on it a bit. So what role does public-private partnership play in the success of your programs?
And that's exactly where we are. We are in the public-private space. As I said earlier, our stated mission is to bring people like you, to bring this community and connect it to the world of public education. We're about to have a Stuff the Bus coming up here shortly, where all of Palm Beach County is invited on August 7th to just bring their stuff and fill up a school bus full of supplies. It's those public-private partnerships that drive public education in America. It's bringing people like you who not only bring funding, but also bring mentoring, bringing in internships. And so we work very closely with the Business Development Board. We work very closely with the Economic Council, and obviously all of our various champions of education. Kelly Smallridge sits on our board, the CEO of the Business Development Board. We meet with Kelly once a year and basically say, Kelly, what do you want? What jobs does Palm Beach County want? And so we go back to the school district and say, the lawyers want more tech people. They want more this skill. They want that skill. They want this kind of a job preparedness. And then we create the funding for those programs. And it's all built on our public-private partnerships with the local business community.
That's fantastic. So this Stuff the Bus, I'm going. It's August 7th. What day of the week is that, by the way?
It's a Thursday morning. We'll be there at the Office Depot on Okeechobee Boulevard. I think it's 2627, just west of I-95. The Goldfarb, the GOLDLAW ice cream truck will be there. I'm going to be your best customer, by the way.
That's great.
And we will have an actual school bus, and anybody can stop by and bring school supplies, and you get to go stuff the bus.
So the point of August 7th is for companies to come bring school supplies to help stuff the bus.
Correct.
And then what's the next step after that?
Well, the next step after that is we will offload the bus, and then all of those supplies will go into our Red Apple Supply inventory to be distributed out to the teachers.
That's great. How long have you done this Stuff the Bus event?
This is going to be only our second one. We're very excited. Last year we filled an entire school bus. As I said, we're already at 96 schools. We're going to be adding 4 more schools in the next month, which will get us to the 100 mark. And then we're just going to keep adding schools until every teacher, every school is shopping at Red Apple Supply.
That's wonderful. So when are you going to have to bring 2 buses instead of 1?
I'm hoping next year. I love the way you think, Craig. I love your spirit.
I'm always pushing the envelope. If you could do 1 bus, you could do 2, Jimmy.
Absolutely correct.
That's fantastic. So August 7th is your next public-facing event. What's after that, if you know?
Oh, we got a bunch of things. We do a Heroes in Education 5K. That'll always be in October. We do a 5K at John Prince Park. Last year we had 1,500. We do a Distinguished Alumni Award where we honor one of our alums of the Palm Beach County School District who has gone on to great success. And then we also do a golf tournament in April. So we do some public-facing events. But mainly our job is to work with those teachers, to make sure those Go Teach grants go out, to make sure that our scholarships are awarded. And so to anybody who wants to volunteer, come to our website, simple, educationfoundationpbc.org. I'm James Gavrilos. I'm the CEO. Send me an email. Do you want to grade scholarships? Do you want to go to a school and read to kids? Do you want to come in and volunteer at Red Apple Supply? There's a dozen ways that you can get involved in the life of a child to change their trajectory for a great future.
Give us that URL, that email, that website again.
Education Foundation PBC, as in Palm Beach County, educationfoundationpbc.org. My name is James. I'm the CEO. Send me an email and I'll respond.
And that is all of the things you just mentioned, the stuff, the bus, the event, all the other events, the golf tournament, are those all listed at the website?
They are.
That is fantastic. So I personally am going to participate and go to Stuff the Bus. I'm doing a scene visit in a couple of weeks to see how I could become more involved with GOLDLAW, because this is a real passion for me. I was a product of the public school system, as were my parents. So, boy, I'll tell you, meeting guys like you, Jimmy, is also just foundationally wonderful for me, and makes my heart sing, so to speak. So I, like you, like my job, and my job is to be out in the community and help people, whether it's in my law firm or meeting wonderful folks who are leaders in the community. So, Jimmy, I wanted to thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure to just, it was kind of random how we met, and we got to know each other in the last few weeks, and I knew I had to have you on the radio show immediately. So thank you for your time.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to finally meet the famous Craig Goldenfarb. I feel like I'm sitting with a celebrity here, but more than your fame and your celebrity and your brain, your heart touches me.
Well, thank you. So I have to go home and get my wife to shrink my head after all the compliments. That she's good at that, and we have a good partnership. But thank you again, Jimmy, for everything. It's been an honor having you on. This is Craig Goldenfarb with the Gold Standard Radio Show. And good morning to all our listeners, and I'll see you next time. That's a wrap on another episode of the Gold Standard Radio Show. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their incredible journey and for being a true beacon of excellence in our community. At GOLDLAW, we believe that when we lift others up, we all rise together. If you know someone in our community making a difference, someone who lives and breathes the gold standard, we want to hear about them. So please reach out, connect with us on social media, and let's continue celebrating the people who are shaping a brighter, stronger future for all of us in Palm Beach County. Until next time, I'm Craig Goldenfarb. So stay inspired, stay committed, and keep raising the gold standard.
Every day, 1,500 children in Palm Beach County wake up in foster care through no fault of their own. They have been torn from everything they know, facing fear, uncertainty, and unimaginable hardships. Many have suffered neglect, abandonment, or abuse, and now they must navigate a complex system that often falls short of meeting their needs. But they're not alone. That's where Speak Up for Kids steps in. We provide life-changing advocacy, life skills training, and essential resources to help these children heal, grow, and thrive. From educational support to everyday necessities, we bridge the gaps so they can have a future filled with possibilities. But we cannot do it alone. These children need champions, someone to stand in their corner, fight with them, and remind them they are valued and not forgotten. Will you be that champion? Visit www.speakupforkidspbc.org today and take action. Your support, whether through donating, volunteering, or simply sharing our mission, makes all the difference. Together, we can bring hope, stability, and a future to children who need it most. Don't wait. Take action now. Visit www.speakupforkidspbc.org and be the hero they deserve.